What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Judgmental Musical Stories. This is episode 20. This is me and Jay. So, what's going on, Jay?
Not much. It's been a while. I think it's been about a year. Pretty much it's the same as where we picked up. I mean, where we left off at.
Yeah, this is our musical story with no music. So it'll be just no music, just us talking about music.
Yeah.
So you had came up with a list. What was the name of the list?
It was 5 albums that influenced your musical taste.
Now, did you do yours or?
What do you mean by do I have my do you mean do I have my list of
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was talking to my friend about this. The concept came when I was so our Kanye West episode where I think I said something about how I don't like completely clean sounding music, at least when it comes to hip hop. Like I like music with texture. And then I was reminded of a certain record that my dad played. And I just put two and two together and I was like, oh, this is why I like the way music, you know, why I like rough sounding music because of this record that my dad used to play all the time. So
Hmm.
that's how I came up with the concept. And then I ended up asking a friend and I asked you. So that's where that came from.
Okay, so how you want to do this? Do you want to give your five and I give my five, or you do one, I do one, and
Let's do one and then because my idea was to like, do one each. And while we do one, we talk about the record and like why it influenced our musical taste or how it influenced our musical taste.
okay, you do the first one.
Okay, cool. So you want me to go?
Yes.
Okay, so the first well, no, the one I mentioned earlier, that'll be the second one. I'm going in chronological order. So the first record that I remember hearing was a gospel record. Actually, the first two are gospel records. My father was a very religious man, and he had a record player in the living room. And every now and then he put on his gospel records. First record is from Andre Crouch and the Disciples. It's a best of album, and it's from 1975.
Hmm.
Um, this was the first full record I remember being played in the household because he'd look after me while mom was at work, and he'd always put this record on. And it's actually the first time like I watched I tried being a DJ on it and I got in trouble.
Because
you know,
you was cutting and scratching and you scratched the
like
record.
he played it, yeah, he played the record. He went in the kitchen. I had to be like 3 or 4. And I saw some DJs earlier doing their thing. So I went up to the record and I just like touched it and it skipped and he started yelling and stuff. But how this record influenced my musical taste. It made me this was the record where I paid attention to different instruments. Like I said, it's a gospel record, but it sounds kind of like a Sly Stone record, being that it's funky and warm sounding.
Right.
Um, when I said musical arrangements, there's this song called "I Come That You Might Have Life," and that particular song, I really liked the string arrangements on it. I didn't even know what strings were, but I recognized the breakdowns and which instruments were playing. That song was actually sampled by The Alchemist. I don't remember what song it was, but I'm pretty sure. And he sampled that string part, which was
Hmm.
funny. I was like, wow. Um, other parts of it, they've got like tons of instruments because some of it is live. They've got horn arrangements. They do funky stuff with the vocals. Um, the last song, It Won't Be Long, it sounds really warm because it's got organs and stuff in it. And that's a live song. But yeah, just musical arrangements, how music is put together, vocal arrangements, and all that stuff that influenced my taste on just music in general. So that's the first record I got.
Okay, my first record. You said you. Oh, so you doing from like the first? Well, I guess we can do the same way because mine's
Okay.
is pretty much close to yours also.
Hmm.
So the first one I picked is Prince, the hits and B-sides. Now, I should have picked Purple Rain, but there's too many songs that's not on Purple Rain that's on other records that I liked. So I kind of cheated and I included the hits and B-sides. Prince was I always just start it was so cool that he was like, okay, let me go back. Okay, Purple Rain came out in '84, so I was 7 or 8. It depends, birthday wise when it came out. I'm not really sure. I know it came out on '84, but I don't know the specific date. Um, and when Purple Rain came out, I thought it was just so cool how he was up there singing songs with a guitar and had a band around him. I just thought that was so cool. I guess this is the reason why I like going to places where people are playing live instruments. And some of the hood bars back in the day, I guess some of them still do it now, but things things kind of changed. They will have people come in and singing the current songs or whatever. How they have somebody will come in with a keyboard and they'll have a couple of singers and they'll sing current songs, whatever. And I used to always sit there and like them doing that. I think this is the reason why that I always liked that. I always started. He was so cool the way he had a guitar and he was singing songs and all that stuff. As I'm older now, I see that Prince wasn't a singer, being though he didn't grow up in the church and was the one that he gonna be somebody. People just thought he was just a basketball player. They didn't know anything about him. He can sing and play instruments and stuff. So it was like a shock to see him playing instruments and being in a band where he was just known for playing basketball. And I guess that's what made me like him like that because he wasn't like that boy gonna be smart. Oh, he gonna do something. He gonna do something. One of those type of things. So yeah, the hits and B sides. But I should have picked Purple Rain, but I was cheating. Purple Rain is probably the first time I seen Prince maybe. Cause this is '84, and he had music videos out, but we
Yeah.
didn't have cable and all that stuff. The only time we get to see music videos was you said it was Saturday night videos was first, right? Then it became Friday night videos, or did I get it wrong?
I don't even remember.
I think we talked about it.
We did, but I don't even remember.
Yeah, well, that was the only time you get to see music videos because you didn't have cable back then, and I don't know if that show came out and was out in '84. I'm not sure, but the first time you heard the songs, but that was back then where you didn't know what anybody looked like until
Mhm.
you saw seen them on TV and everything like that. It ain't like how it is today. So yeah, Prince. That was the first time I seen Prince was on Purple Rain. Bad movie, by the way, because he's like a villain. He's like the villain that we was rooting for. He treated people like shit. He beat his girlfriend. Morris Day was the one that was the hero. Morris Day was like the cool one because Morris Day didn't do anything to anybody. He just sung songs and tried to talk to the girl, but she didn't like him. Prince whooped her ass. He treated his bandmates like pieces of shit. But the music was so good that you had to think
Mhm.
think about it. Think about Purple Rain.
No, you're right. That's why I'm laughing. You're totally right.
Well, you up next.
Okay, so going back to my father's music collection. So this is one where I was talking about texture and music. The first record, the Andre Crouch record, I was in Philadelphia. The second one is from a gospel quintet. I think they're a quintet, called the Sensational Nightingales, and the record is called Travel On. And my father played this a lot on tape. I wonder if my brother remembers this. If he's, I'm gonna send him the link afterward and see if he remembers any of the record itself. But my father, he drove the Black El Camino, and he had this dubbed on tape. So he taped. the songs from the actual vinyl record, and he would play it every single time he got in his El Camino. Like that was his soundtrack probably for the first couple years we were in North Carolina. So as I said, they're a gospel quintet, and they mainly have a guitar. The music itself on the record "Travel On." Well, let me go back. It's from 1964, but actually the record sounds older, to be honest, because it's minimalist. Like I said, there's a guitar player on the record. You might hear maybe a drum, just a guitar, but it's mainly the vocalists harmonizing with each other and singing. And as I said, this is gospel music. Their record equipment, I think, was standard, but the sound, it sounds kind of cheap. And when I went back and kind of researched, um, a lot of their records were made in one take.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to hear somebody maybe sing off key a little bit. There's going to be some mistakes in it. You might hear some background noises or some echo or something. So I think that is why my father played this so much. I think this is why like I like music that has texture to it or something that doesn't sound too perfect.
Right.
Because the record itself, it had a lot of personality. Well, I was gonna say something else. I mentioned it was gonna be in one take. It was in one take. Um, oh yeah. Also, remember that I said that the tape was recorded from vinyl, right?
Yes.
The vinyl was rough. I could tell because there were songs that would skip on it. You would hear the hiss and pop on it. And if I hear any song, I guarantee you, if I hear that record today, I'll sing it word for word.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll know where the record skips on it.
Right.
And one thing too about gospel records, I think the reason why they put it in one take maybe it could have been budget issues, but gospel music is strictly about the emotion and the feeling itself.
Yes, I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, like I said, you're gonna hear people maybe catching the Holy Ghost on it a little bit, or something else going on in the background. But I think I appreciated the way that it sound, the texture to it, even the record skipping on it also because it had an overall warm feeling to it that I really appreciated. And I think that's the reason why I like some artists like Madlib, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Madlib, his records, when he produces, it sounds imperfect. You know what I mean? It works, but it sounds imperfect at the same time.
Right.
So that's my second one.
Well, great minds kind of think alike. I picked Public Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. It's pretty much what you just said there. It's music that it don't really supposed to go together, but it goes together. It's like it sounds like a bunch of noise, and it's not perfect. They're definitely not perfect production, and it just like listen to Terminator X. Listen to all the stuff in the background that's going on. It's not perfect at all, but for some reason, it just sounds good. And yeah, that's when the first time I started really getting in what's that? 88, 80, 80, 88, right? Public Enemy came out. I should have got the dates and all that stuff too, by the way.
87, 88. You're right. It's one of those years.
Yeah, this is like the first time I started listening to production. Listening to production like that. But I don't really have really much to say anymore because you just pretty much explained it. When you just had mentioned the production. I'm sitting here listening to him. I'm like, damn. I'm thinking the same thing about Tasting Nation of Millions and Hold Us Back. Oh, and by the way, Friday Night Videos started in 1983, so I'm pretty sure they had Prince videos on there because he was extremely popular, and he crossed over. So they definitely had Prince videos on there. Friday Night Videos, it's like you had to like stay up. You had to fight to stay up just to watch it. That's how this the stuff we used to do back in the day. But if you have listened to the Judgmental musical episodes, we talked about it damn near every episode.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't have you pretty much explained it all.
Okay. So my third one is it's a I'm going off gospel records now. And it's actually a boogie record. For those who don't know what boogie music is, it's kind of like disco. It's funky, kind of like disco, but the music isn't as fast paced. It's like slowed down, but it's still dance music.
Hmm.
Um, the record is Log, self-titled, and it came out in 1981. I don't remember how I came across this record because my parents did not have this record. I don't know how I came across it. But the main singer and I guess producer, he's called the Godfather of Boogie Music, is Leroy Burgess.
Oh, my boy.
Okay. Yeah, he sang if for those who he his roots kind of run deep. I think he first appeared with this group called Black Ivory. They came out in the 70s and it was a three-person group and they sang like those like slow ballad songs like think of like the Delphonics or somebody like that.
Hmm.
They sang music like that or Blue Magic, something along the lines of that. But yeah, in the 80s, after that, I think he left that group in the late 70s, early 80s, and went on to make boogie music, more up-tempo stuff. And the way that it influenced my taste is that like the way that he sings on it, the whole I'll just put it like this way, the whole record is fun to listen to.
Hmm.
It's dance music, but it's not overbearing. The way Leroy Burgess sings on it, like he sounds like he's smiling the whole time. Like he sounds like he's having fun. The music is colorful. Um, yeah, it's kind of it made me like later on, especially when it came to like maybe rap music and R&B, especially with rap music. I think by the time rap music really hit mainstream popularity, it was just, and I'm gonna talk about this later, but it didn't sound as fun.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it had elements of fun, but like my personal taste in rap music itself, like I said, my favorite era is late 80s, early 90s. And because I say that because they still sounded like they were having fun rapping and stuff.
Right.
You know, you had rappers still making dance songs and they didn't take themselves seriously.
Hmm.
And I think that's the reason why I like that era is because of this particular record. It's just fun. It's an easy listen. The singer, he's singing his ass off, but he doesn't sound like super serious or anything. Like he sounds like he's having fun while he's on the record. So yeah, that's my third.
Okay. Great minds think alike again. I'm going to try to step over the chronological order, and I'm going to one well I'll get to it. I picked DJ Cash Money, Old School Need to Learn though. It's one and two, but I'm just going to focus on one. It's a mixtape, but Discog has it on their discography. So it came out in '94. But what they did is almost what you talked about rappers like having fun and making dance music and just just being themselves. They did a lot of now we always hear about how rap was first started, how they would do record the shows from the party
Hmm.
and they'll have the rappers on there or whatever doing their set, and they probably didn't even call it a set back then. Well, the stuff they rehearsed, and it was always harmonizing, especially if it was a group. They was all harmonizing in order. In order, no one like messed up or anything like that because they practiced it a thousand times probably. And that's why I picked the songs are from like the early 80s, But this mixtape, because I'm kind of cheating a bit, the mixtape came out in '94. And when I first got that mixtape, I couldn't stop listening to it because I liked all that harmonizing and all that stuff those rappers was doing. And YouTube wasn't really out. YouTube wasn't out in '94, was it?
YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube
YouTube
didn't come
wasn't.
out. It didn't come out till like 2006.
Oh, okay. I thought YouTube came out in like the late '90s.
Nah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry then. Well, there was no type of way that you can hear this stuff without knowing somebody that had it. So when he had well, you can listen to all the stuff now, and you don't have to buy them Cash Money's mixtape. But the harmonizing and all that stuff, and the people having fun, you can hear the audience in the background and all that stuff. So that's why I picked DJ Cash Money. It came out in '94, but the songs he have on there is like in the early '80s, late '70s, early '80s. So that was
Okay.
my third one.
All right. So my fourth one is the only hip hop record I got on here, and well, for anybody who knows me, I'm pretty sure it's obvious what it is. It's a Tribe Called Quest Marauders.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think there's much that need to be said about the record because everybody knows about the record. Personally, everybody says that Illmatic is the best hip hop record. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I'm not an expert, but I put Midnight Marauders. I give it a hair over Illmatic, and that's just my opinion. Um, why is it so? Why? How did it influence my taste in records? It the album itself. It's not any particular song. It was just the whole flow of the album. The tour guide, the fact that like each song on the record kind of like they made sense, the chronological order.
Hmm.
I mean, ending the record with God Lives Through that God Lives Through, that just sounds like a perfect ending to a rap record. It
Right.
does to me. Um, it's sequencing like the music, like I don't know the way Q-Tip produced that. Well, Q-Tip and Ali Shaheed Muhammad, I think Q-Tip did like most of the weight on it on the Tribe records, but the way the samples and the drums just kind of melt into each other, nothing sounds out of place. And the whole album too. There's not, you know how sometimes skits take up too much space on
Yes.
a record and you got to skip it. To me, that's like one of the first non-skip hip hop albums I've listened to. And once I listened to that, that was my standard. It was like, okay, if you're going to make an album, it has to make sense. You got to have like really good sequencing. If you're going to have skits, the skits have to make sense.
Right.
There's nothing on the record that's too much or too little. To me, everything is perfect on the record and it makes sense. And I'm talking about as a complete album, as a complete listening experience.
Hmm.
So that's my fourth.
Well, great minds think alike again because we didn't practice this anything, but I also picked the album from '93. So
Hmm.
they came out the same year. I don't know the dates. I know Midnight Marauders came out late because it was cold outside.
Yeah.
I don't know with Black Moon enter the stage. I don't know. I know it's '93, but I don't know when the date was. Well, I picked that, and that's because that's almost like the start of underground rap. Would you say '93? Would you call it that at the time?
The Backpacker Underground, yeah, the dirty sounding record samples and all that.
R-
Yeah.
Right, right. I picked that because I'm a real big boot camp fan. Because that's like '93. That's when I'm like becoming a teenager, late 20s, person, and that was the first. That's you know how people talk about Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane when they were younger. That's
Hmm.
how I feel about the Boot Camp Click. I'm a huge fan. Yeah, Both came out in '93, Midnight Marauders and Enter the Stage. You would never think that those came out. These records was all out at the same time, and they all was successful. You know, some successful more than others, of course, but yeah, that's why, and that's a album that I really don't skip when I listen to it.
I don't mean to like invade your
You are, but go ahead.
but I'm just gonna say that Black Moon record, like during that time, the West Coast was really dominating. And it's a slept on album too, because I think after that record came out, that's when more East Coast artists started. Like, I'm not gonna say it was a response. They not responding back to the West, but like they were like, okay, look, we gotta step our game up. Like West is doing this, and we gotta like do this. That's what it felt like to me. And like the that record was the one that was just like it stood out because it was like super New York sounding. I don't know how to put it, but it just sounded just rough and like Tim's and hoodies and all that stuff. That's the first time I ever got a feeling from a record during that time period.
Oh, okay, let me ask you a question. If it wasn't a Black Moon, would there be? I mean, I'm sorry. Let me go back. If it wasn't Enter the Stage, would there be an infamous Mob Deep?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, you were right about the East Coast thing. I didn't really mention that because that was Snoop Dogg was killing shit back then at that time. So yeah, it's so funny that all these records was out around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, so the last record is a jazz record. It's from Pharoah Sanders and it's called Journey to the One. The record came out in 1980. Pharoah Sanders was known for having, well, his music came out in like the late 1960s, and he pretty much came under John Coltrane. John Coltrane was doing a lot of spiritual jazz, so the first series of records that Pharoah Sanders did, they were in that vein, and he would do these sonic freakouts on a lot of the records. But then he, after those series of records, he mellowed down a lot. So this record that came out in 1980, Journey to the One, it's him more mellowed out. It made me appreciate, I mean, I had already listened to a couple of jazz records already, but that was strictly just because of hip hop samples, basically.
Hmm.
I listen to hip hop samples and then I go back and I like not just listen to the song, I get the whole entire record.
Right.
And this particular record, I'm not sure how I stumbled upon it, but I don't think there are any I don't think there was anyone who sampled any records from here that I heard. I just picked it up and I just listened to it, just strictly just listened to the jazz elements of it. That's it. Like this is a jazz record. I don't need to hear that. I just want to hear this record. And it influenced my musical taste because it's not how do I put it? It just made me appreciate jazz more and just musicianship in it. Instead of his sonic freakouts, like that was my introduction to some of the like world musical elements in jazz. He's got this one record on there called Soledad. I'm not sure if I said it right, where it sounds like Indian music or something. Like I hear these weird strings and stuff on it. Everything else on the record for the most part is just it's him playing the saxophone and he's more I don't know how to put it, but he's more lyrical on it. He's not trying to make too much of a statement on these records. He's just really playing his ass off and the band is like really tight. And that's when I really like that's the record that really made me attention to like to jazz itself and just musicians in general, like how tight a band should be.
Hmm.
That was kind of my gateway to get deeper into it rather than just, oh, that was a cool sample. Let me figure out what they were doing over here. Like, oh, let me check the whole record. So that's my last one.
My last one is an album that came out in 1999. Why? Because how I know that is because the first single was 1999. I picked Sound Bombing 2. Sound Bombing 2 is the sweet spot of that underground rap or backpack rap movement because it showed that you could be successful doing it, not doing something mainstream. Uh, I didn't like the skits that was in it, but that was just my only negative. Um, yeah, it's like okay, look all the people that came out that were successful. You have would you call Fairmont? Yeah, because he had a hit song. So you
Yeah.
got Most Def, Talib, or Reflection Eternal. I don't know how you want to put it. They became successful because Most Def came out like a couple of months later, if I'm not mistaken. Uh,
Hmm.
Sound Bomber 2 came out in 99. It had to be like early 99.
Hmm.
Most Def Most Def definitely came out in 99 also. So it must have been either late 99 or early 2000. I'm not
That
sure.
was I remember that was late because I think Most Def and Pharoah Monch came out. I think Rawkus was like promoting them together, kind of or something. Kind of
Hmm.
like it reminded me of Month of the Man a little bit because I remember
Right.
going to the record stores and I remember it being chilly outside. And I remember seeing like the promo posters and stuff in there that Most Def's record was coming out.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I did the same thing because I had went and well, that was around the same time I was buying tapes. We talked about that before every Tuesday.
Mhm.
And I had got Mos Def's album. Yeah, very the sweet spot of underground rap at that time. And I'm so pissed that we didn't get a chance to do that review. We did Sound Bomber 1. Sound Bomber 1 was all okay to me. But
Mhm.
Sound Bombing 2 was the one that I wish that we could have did the damn review on. And it's so funny because I seen it on there. When you always ask me stuff like that, I always check Spotify to see if it was on there. And I had checked it and it was on there. Come when it was time for us to do the damn review, it wasn't on there anymore. Yeah, it says Fairmont's Internal Affairs came out in 99 October, so they probably came out around the same like a week apart or something like that. So you were right. Yeah, I got that too. Yeah, that's the very sweet spot of underground rap there, and the sweet spot of Ruckus Records also because after that, no, I can't say that because Oh No came out with Sound Bomber 3. I ain't like Sound Bomber 3 too much because it was kind of they went the mainstream route, but Oh No will probably be their biggest hit record of
Yeah.
Ruckus Records, so I can't say they went down from there. So I could say after Sound Bomber 3 they went down.
Hmm.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, like I don't know how the idea came. Well, just listening to music, you come up with ideas. So, yeah.
Right. So Raekwon, the Emperor's New Clothes. What is your thoughts?
You know what? Like I was interested in it somewhat. Well, let me just go back and say let's do the same thing I told you earlier about the mass appeal rollout.
Mm,
It's like I get what they're doing. It's like, oh, we got these legends coming out this summer with all this music, but pretty much all it is just banking on nostalgia. I mean, my brother made a good point too. He said like, all right, look, we all, probably grew up listening to these artists and everything, but to be honest, they're all past their prime, man.
mhm.
Like you can't go in expecting to hear a children's story only built for Cuban links. I'm mad that Ghostface is supposedly supposed to do Supreme Clientele too, because I'm just like, nah,
That's
dude,
supposed
I
to
don't.
be that's supposed to be coming out in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I think next
Okay.
month.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm like I wish he wouldn't have done that. Like all of them records, I told you, I'm not excited at all about any of these records. So when I saw Raekwon the Emperor's New Clothes, I was like, okay, they're kind of making a big deal about it. Maybe it might be good. And to me, it sounded like a regular, just old head record. It said like and I don't like to. I'm not dissing Raekwon or anything because he put out like he's Raekwon. He's part of the Wu-Tang Clan, whatever.
Right.
But it sounds like people. It sounds like just a regular record for people who were stuck in the '90s,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even 1990s quality neither because
Yeah.
he's out of his prime and the beats don't sound prime neither.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's rapping, of course, but same subject matter, no concept. I don't know why he named it Emperor's New Clothes because it's not really much of a concept to it. Uh, the two songs that I do like out of it, I'm gonna pass it to you after that before I get into it more. But I thought Bear Hill was a cool record. It was all right. It was a cool record, and the Heavies. I think the Heavies was my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
But Omerta was all right too. But everything
Yes.
else was just kind of meh. So what did you think?
Well, I'm 100% agreement with what you said. Well, I kind of disagree about the past his prime thing. I
Mm-hmm.
just feel as though some of these guys that LL Cool J kind of did it with Q-Tip, even though I don't think Q-Tip was the right person for the
Mm-hmm.
album. These guys need to be produced. And I'm looking at as you were talking, I'm looking at the track listing and who produced what and everything. And it's only one guy, Rhodes Art.
Mm-hmm.
Rhodes Art is like on a majority of the stuff. Um, these guys need to have one producer. And when I say a producer, it doesn't have to be DJ Premier or Large Professor or old school guy. It could be one of these new school producers if they good. They need to just be sit down and produce. For an example, uh uh I like the that Jermaine Dupri record. That Jermaine Dupri record is one of the best stuff I heard in a while, and I listened to that numerous times. And we talked about rap and how I only listen to stuff once, and that's it.
Yeah.
The Magic City record, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There's a definition of a producer. Now, if now you tell me if Raekwon can sit down with Jermaine Dupri, and let's just say 10 records, they do 10 records together. Do you think it's not going to be good?
I don't know.
See,
I
I disagree. I
don't
think it
know.
will. I think it would be good. I mean, I'm saying if he said, I'm not just talking about him just giving him some beats and he rap over it. I'm talking about Jermaine Dupri executive producing also.
Mm.
Tell him say like this or do this, do it like this way. I think it would be good. So I don't know if it's the Passy Prom stuff. Like I said, LL Cool J kind of did it, but I don't think Q-Tip was the right person for it. These guys need to be produced. And like you said about this mass appeal, this rollout so far has been horrible. It's been terrible.
Oh, damn. Okay. I
Right.
was gonna say maybe I'm being too generous with it.
The song I liked on there, the Amada record was okay, and that's only got controversy because of the Jim Jones and Nas thing, especially with the unreleased verse, quote unquote unreleased. Yeah, why did he change his verse? Did they ever explain that?
They did, but I didn't even really check to see why. Because to me, it wasn't that big of a deal, to be honest.
Right. Jim Jones and Cameron are like masters at marketing,
Hmm.
and he's saying first of all, the little kid said it first. The link that I showed you, the little kid had said it.
Yeah, the interview at yeah. He
Yeah,
was like 22 years old, and they asked him like he said, Jim Jones was better than Nas, I think, or he said he's more relevant or something.
yes.
Yeah,
He said it first, and Jim Jones jumped on the back of that. They're like the type. Cameron and Jim Jones is like the type that long as their name is in the atmosphere or the algorithm, I guess that would be the correct way to say it.
yeah.
Then like you can market it off of it. Now look at all the interviews that Jim Jones done just from that remark. Just from that remark, he said that remark. I don't believe that he believes that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also like 600 School. That Method Man verse, that was a good verse that Method Man did on that song 600 School. But yeah, this rollout hasn't been good at all. So speaking of that, can we go to Slick Rick Victory?
Well, wait, let me go back to the Raekwon thing, like to what you said. I think that's That's see, I wanted to wait to see what you would say, but I agree with a producer,
Hmm.
uh, someone to sit with the rap because the skits made no sense.
No.
Like I said earlier about Midnight Marauders, if you're going to have skits, like they have to make sense in the context of the record. And when it comes to making an album, everything should flow together. Or see, this is what I would like from older these legends as they call them. Like I don't want you to just rap and sound good, man. Like if that were the case, you could just put out a mixtape.
Right.
My thing is if you're going to make an album, like you got to have some sort of concept. Like we liked Only Built for Cuban Links because it had a concept to it. Like
Yeah.
everything on that record made sense and it all fit. My thing is, it's like, yeah, if you're going to have a producer too, I don't want the producer to just say, okay, put this song here, put this song here. It's like, no, have a concept to it. I mean, I like Raekwon, but I don't need to hear the mafioso drug dealing stuff all the time because it's like I know how you're going to approach it.
Right.
And they need to have like you need to have a different approach to your music, man. Like if y'all want to sit there and keep calling it art, like don't draw the same picture over and over again.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like have a different idea. Okay, if you're going to draw this picture, what are you going to put right here that was different from the last one? Like how are you going to make the person who's experiencing your art, how are they going to like view it differently from the other one? Because everything is subjective anyway.
Right.
But you don't want to make something that's just so plain to where everybody's like, yeah, okay, I know what he did. Uh-huh. And the reason why I said the method, see, I'm in partial disagreement with the Method Man verse a little bit because he came off on it, but like to be honest, him and Inspector Deck sounded a little choppy on certain parts. Ghostface too. That's why I mentioned like kind of out of their prime. I agree with you though about if they had a producer because if I was a producer, I would have made them record their verses again.
Right.
They were Method Man is always in pocket, but he slipped a little bit at certain points though.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was my take on it.
Oh, okay. The legend has it is going to be Nas and DJ's premiere, Ghostface, Raekwon came out, Mobb Deep, De La Soul, Big L, Slick Rick, and it's supposed to be someone else. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be the Coogee rap of Big Daddy Kane.
Hmm.
Yeah, they should just they just need to be produced. If
Hmm.
they produce well, Havoc's a good person that you can sit and no. Havoc is more kind of like a beat maker. They need a producer. That's why I said Jermaine Dupri. But yeah, I don't believe in that washed up or not the same anymore. I mean, if you could still write, but see, sometimes you just need guidance.
I guess so. I don't know.
All right, what you think of the Slick Rick record?
Uh, uh, again, I'm not putting anyone down. It was cool to hear him back. Slick Rick sounds good.
Hmm.
Slick Rick is one of those rappers who doesn't I don't think he gets enough respect as he should because like you go back and listen to his first album. I think his first album came out in 87, right?
Yes, hold on, I can tell you.
86, 87 or something. No, probably
Yeah,
no,
88.
88. I don't know why I thought it was earlier. Oh no, I know why, because he did okay. Anyway, that record sounds modern. You could play that record at any time. The way he raps, his vocal inflections, like the little tricks, the recording tricks they play where you hear one voice in one ear and then the other voice in the other ear. Like
That Redman copied. If everyone don't know what Jay's talking about, if you listen to early Redman, he did the same thing.
Yeah, it's like he sounds fresh, and it's like it never sounds too outdated. He
Hmm.
sounds good now still, but it's the same thing that you said, just a producer sitting with him. He
Right.
definitely he has some cuts on there, but it's not, to be honest, it's not something I would go back and revisit. I think my favorite song on there was Landlord, and he
Hmm.
does tell stories, but again, it's like it's not a cohesive project.
Right. Well, I agree with, was you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, I agree with everything that you just said. Sounds very clean on the record. You couldn't tell the difference between him in '88 and this album now. It both sounds the same, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Looking at, I also, as you were talking, I went to the track list, and he produced majority of the album. Um, the best thing about this album is that little, would you call that little movie a short film, or would you
Yeah,
just
it's a
call?
short film.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was
Hmm.
pretty good. How he had all the songs. Well, some of the songs. I don't think all of them was on there, but that was like the best thing. And I liked Stress was cool, but the gigs guy, I can't understand what the hell he was saying. And that's because he's a UK rapper.
Mm.
And the guy just goes on and on and on. And I'm like, well, what the hell did he just say? I guess that's good for the UK crowd.
Yeah.
Landlord was good, like you said. And Documents with Nas was also good, also. But the album isn't bad. Another Great Adventure is cool, too. The album isn't bad, but it's only 30 minutes long.
Mm.
So props to them for keeping the album short because that's what you need to do in this day and age. Just like exactly like you said, it's there, and I wouldn't want to go and listen to it again. And that's not a bad thing or
Hmm.
anything. All right, now we going to Eclipse. Let God sort about. That's the name of the album, right?
Yeah, let God
Okay.
sort them out,
Yeah.
right?
And what's your thoughts on it?
Uh, it's kind of like what I said, and people, because everybody's going crazy over this record. A lot of people
Hmm.
are calling it the album of the year. Uh, and I know that sounds like I'm going to like say something disappointing or something. They had like the best rollout I've seen in a while, and everybody will agree with that. And that, maybe it made my expectations too high for the record. I think it's good. I think them dudes are rapping on it. They're
Hmm.
rapping on it, and Malice is going crazy. But I think the hype is I think it's overhyped. Like I told you, it's so overhyped that you got women talking about how cute Malice is. I'm like, come on, man, really? Like, just the music itself. So when I pay attention to the music itself, it sounds good, but not great to me.
Right.
Like I said, they're rapping on it. But maybe it's me, but like I need more than just rapping on a record where like you two are coming back as a group. We haven't seen you since what was it? When did the early 2000 teens maybe?
Yes.
And it's I expected more. Like I wanted more out of the whole. I don't think they're the issue. I think it's like you said, the producer itself. Because to me, and this is kind of like what I said about Raekwon, they sounded sharper on here though. Again, line for line is good, but like I think there's too much overemphasis on the lyrics itself and not the
Hmm.
whole entire album, man.
Right.
Because people are talking about real hip hop came back, and it's like we need to dead that whole thing about hip hop being about bars and lyrics and stuff, man. The legend goes hip hop started at a recreation center in 1973. Now, what goes on at a recreation center? Who's at a recreation center? A bunch of kids. All right. Kids just
Mm.
wanted to hear music and dance to it. They just wanted to have a good time. That's it. They were not sitting up there talking about, oh man, I gotta write these life-changing, profound lyrics to change the minds of society. Nobody was doing that back then.
Right.
All right. It's about having fun. And I mean, it is a fun record if you're looking for bars because everybody has a specialty. But for a complete listening experience, it was just good and not great to me. And I'm gonna go
Hmm.
further into it. Like I'm gonna go into the detail, but I'll let you like give your opinion on it.
Well, I agree. Again, I agree with everything you said. Hell of a rollout. Hell of a rollout. And that goes to props of because these are two quote unquote old rappers. I think Pusha T is my age and Miles has got to be in his 50s now.
Hmm.
A hell of a rollout on everything, every urban podcast. I'm assuming they were on the Breakfast Club. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, so they
Yeah.
did every radio interview, every podcast, and they even was on the damn ESPYS. They I guess they did a bridge between. I only watched like about 5 minutes of that stuff. I think the ESPYS is stupid anyway, but I'm not gonna be a sports star sitting there at some damn award show.
Hmm.
I think they paid them people to be there. Well, anyway, yeah, they were on there and they performed. So that was a nationally televised show that well, wasn't no sports or anything going on that day because of the MLB All-Star game. The MLB All-Star game was Tuesday, and I think the ESPYs was Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So they was on a nationally televised show on ABC, and the guy said, "Hey, that's the Eclipse," and whatever. He introduced them or whatever. He didn't introduce them after they were done rapping. He said, "That's the Eclipse," give a round of applause and all that stuff. So, hell of a rollout, and that goes for that old rapper shit that nobody ain't trying to check for old rappers. And like I said, Pusher is my age. He's got to be my age, and Miles has got to be in his 50s again. But like you said, maybe it's just not for us. I don't know. Maybe it's just not for us anymore. But I don't think this is like the greatest thing that I heard in a while. The songs I like is EBITDA. Now, is that has something to do with finance, right?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't even pay attention. I don't know.
Okay, so I
What the
like that
song?
song.
You're talking about the song itself?
No, the whole name,
Oh, I don't
EBIT, the acronym.
know. Hmm.
Um and Gloria Bastards was cool. I like Ab Live on there.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, hmm. Other than that, I'm looking at the track list, and there's nothing I want to listen to again other than what I just said. But I'm
Okay.
just thinking that props to him for just having a producer, like we said, one producer.
Hmm.
Uh, Other than that, I just give him props on the rollout.
Okay. The songs I like Chains and Whips. Kendrick goes, he does go crazy on it. So, and I like how they came off on it.
Hmm.
I like POV. Well, I'll say the first part of it. The beat was kind of but I like Pusha T's approach on that record. I like the sing-songy. It reminded me of Method Man, like the song, how he was like kind of playing with like sing-songy sort
Right.
of with the hook. And then I I think I saw an interview where he said his approach, he modeled his approach after Guru from Gangstar. And
Hmm.
when I listen back to it, I'm like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. I see what because he I think he said he felt like he failed at it, but it's like I can kind of see what he's talking about. Um, I like FICO. I like the rhyming in the hook.
Hmm.
Everything else that's pretty much about it. Um, Again, they got lines for days on here, which is good. But if I were to criticize the album, the stuff that I don't like, Pharrell didn't need to sing the hooks on this. I didn't like his singing on it. Um, I think Birds Don't Sing. This is my opinion. I think it would have fit better at the end of the record or something.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't like John Legend's voice, but that's me. But it's a good song. It doesn't really fit the album though, because it's like, how are you going to rap about the death of your parents, seeing them? You tell a story, then everything else is about you selling drugs and bragging about all this extravagant stuff. You
Hmm.
know, as a whole album, it doesn't make sense, I think, especially to start with that. Um, I think, yeah, if you were to keep that, put it at the end, or maybe put it before "By the Grace of God" or something.
Hmm.
Something like somewhere at the end.
Right.
Um, what else was it? Yeah, the beats themselves, and to be honest, okay, they're great at what they do with the coke raps, but this goes back exactly to what I said about the producer producing them. Pharrell made beats, but it's like the album itself. So when I listen to an album, to me, I think going back to what I said, like Midnight Marauders, it needs to have bookends to it. You got to have something that stands out in the beginning and something that closes the album. And to me, the whole album itself didn't read like a book.
Hmm.
It just like I to me, I would have been straight with them putting out a mixtape because basically the songs themselves were mixtape-ish.
Yes. Yes.
Um, yeah, the beats were just kind of there for the most part. I mean, some of the beats were all right, but just as a whole project, the beats were like really background to me. Like
Right.
none of them, except a couple of them, none of them really stood out completely to where it's like, oh yeah, this beat is on. Nothing really stood out to me. Um,
Sorry to interject, but somebody on the internet said that maybe that Pharrell should get back with Chad.
so okay, and so going back to the producer thing, like I said, the lines, the song sounded mixtape-ish. Like I would really like them to do again more of a concept to what they do. So
Hmm.
it's like, okay, look, we know y'all gonna rap about selling Pusha T particularly. It's like, okay, we know you're gonna rap about coke. Cool. Malice is more introspective, and it's like if they could put that together and make like more of a, I'm not saying they have to do a full concept album where they tell a whole complete story or
Right.
anything, but it's like you got to have more of a concept to the album itself. Okay, it's let God sort them out. What does that got to do? What does the title have to do with the album itself?
Agreed.
I Yeah, I think that's about it. About what I have to say about it.
I forgot about Birds That Don't Sing. That's a good song, and I also not really a fan of John Legend. We talked about that before,
Yeah.
and I don't think it should have been in the beginning of the album either. I think they should have put it at the end.
Hmm.
Right. Anything else music wise?
Music wise, anything that's out. I mean, I haven't had a chance to really get into the Freddie Gibbs record.
Hmm.
I just came out this past Friday. Um, I like The Alchemist, but I'm tired of him.
Why?
I like him, but I'm tired of him. To me, it's too much music. And like a lot of his stuff, certain maybe a certain artist that he works with, the music kind of bleeds together. Like some of it sounds the same kind of. I'm not
Agreed.
gonna say it sounds the same, but it's like I already know what to expect from him.
Hmm.
And it's like I'm maybe it's something about me to where I like, okay, let me put it this way. Pharaoh Monch is my favorite rapper. Or if he's not my favorite rapper, he's top five to me. Favorite. I'm not saying the best, so don't come at me or anything. But the reason why he's in my top five is because he changes his approach to every song he's on. When he raps, I don't know how he's gonna come on it. I don't know what he's gonna do, you know. And that's how I would want some of these artists to how I would want them to approach their albums and their music. With The Alchemist, I know he's gonna do a soul sample. I know he's
Right.
gonna do some soul sample, and he's gonna have these soul samples where he doesn't do drums on it for the most part too. And I'm kind of tired of drumless beats. Um, I like Freddie Gibbs though, just because he's just good at rapping.
Right.
So
See, the thing about him is like he'll rap circles around a whole lot of people. He raps, but the thing about him that people kind of turn on him is the antics he does on social media.
Yeah, which I mean, I really don't pay much attention to his social media or anything. Um, he has personality.
Right.
That's what I like about him. He can rap and he has personality. So, Alfredo was good. I
Mm-hmm.
liked Alfredo. I like most of Freddie Gibbs' material, so I'm gonna give it a listen. But I mean, when it comes to Alchemist, I'll listen to people who stand out more. Like the Erica Badu record, which we talked about that briefly. I was like disappointed in that. I was like, I ain't heard nothing from Erica Badu. You're gonna rap over the real, I mean, sing over the realist and do all this weird stuff with it. I'm like, I don't want to hear recycle, especially someone, especially from a producer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That would have been cool for a mixtape, but if you're gonna do if you're gonna release a song, just not even a project, a song, especially from Erykah Badu, who we haven't heard from in a long time, like you got to come on something else, man. That's how I felt. I mean, I'm of the minority though because it seems like everybody liked it, or most people liked it. They just didn't like the AI video or whatever it was. I didn't care about that. I was just like
Right.
to me, I was just like the song is kind of her like kind of crooning over a beat I heard before. Like, yeah,
It's cause it's new and it's her. That's why people are into it. Like I said, it's okay. Ain't nothing to I gotta listen to over again or whatever. Well,
see, but
hell, I like to I listen to that Paul Wall song more than I listen to that Erykah Badu. I
and,
definitely listen to that Jermaine Dupri song more than I listen to that Erykah Badu.
and this is the thing, and this is me complaining. But my thing is, if you're considered a legend, then put out legendary music. All right, put out legendary art. Like, don't just put out stuff. Oh, we're just happy to hear you because we haven't heard you in a long time. No, like I like the Clipse. I like Raekwon. I like Slick Rick. But I'm like, look, I'm not going to give you praise just because I liked your old work. I'm going to be more critical of everything you put out.
Right.
Like, I don't expect you to hit a home run and hit a classic all the time, but don't put out stuff that don't put out duds. Like, you at least have to, you got to try, man. Because it sounded like their projects as a whole, there really wasn't an effort to do anything different. Like,
Yep.
we talked about this before. People put out the word classic way too much. Like
Especially nowadays.
people talking about this Clipse album is a classic. I'm like, no, it's not. They're not
Oh,
doing anything. They're not pushing the boundaries on anything. They're not doing anything different. They're doing stuff that they're comfortable with doing, and that's cool. But don't call it a classic. To me, a classic is something that just changes things up. Like
yes.
completely. Like you haven't heard this before, or you haven't heard that approach before, but like after that, it changed like everything.
Hmm. I agree.
Hmm.
They'll throw out a classic way too much in this day and age. I don't know. Like I say, maybe it's just not for me anymore. I don't know. I can't call it.
That's how I.
It, anything else you want to talk about, music wise? The musical episode with no music. Thanks a lot, Spotify.
But I think it would be cool if we did like because like how we just did talk about albums and stuff. Like we could talk about albums and maybe rate them or something. Or just talk about them in general. I think this was cool. I mean, because we can't use music, so may as well talk about it and kind of go in depth into details about
Right,
like some of the songs and some of the records that we hear, or the hot records that are out. So
right.
yeah.
Well, all right then. You can reach. Oh, first of all, I gotta ask. It's been a while. It's been a year since you've been on here. Give us all your social media.
Yeah, this is my social media. I think people who listen to me on this podcast, they know the answer.
Well, you can reach the Judgementals on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube at PNL Judgementals, Instagram at two underscores Judgementals, or you can email us at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. Sorry, Jay.